بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. جزاكم الله بالخير. Excellencies, delegates, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues, welcome to the World Climate Action Summit session on climate finance. This represents a new day for climate finance, a new day to help build trust. And it's a new day to build the true new climate economy. Yesterday, with all of your help and assistance, we delivered on trust with the historic announcement on loss and damage. And we now have a fund for climate impact response that is beginning to be operationalized with real money available. I want to thank all of those who have already made pledges, and I look forward to many more. And I must say, I was very encouraged with all the notes and messages I personally received from many representatives from many other countries, committing that they will be pledging in the next few days. We count on that. Before I continue, allow me to thank everyone here today who has contributed to our understanding of the climate finance gap. We decided very early on in our preparations for COP28 is that we don't want to just shoot in the dark. We want to develop a thorough, comprehensive, holistic approach to really getting to the bottom of the problem and to get a deeper understanding to the root cause analysis and why aren't we yet progressing in the way we should have been. And here I must recognize the efforts, the support, and the guidance we have received as COP28 from Prime Minister Motley of Barbados, President Ruto of Kenya, and the World Bank, represented by its new and fresh energy by my dear friend and colleague AJ Banga, the IMF, many other institutions. And as I have been saying for a while, we need everybody to bring a different mindset to COP28. And I've made that message repeatedly, because we don't want just another COP. We don't want just another step. We don't want just another incremental progress. What we need is a giant leap into the future in a way that makes sense, in a way that addresses the problem and addresses the real world through real and practical solutions. We need a different mindset to fix the fundamental challenge of making climate finance more available, more accessible, and more affordable. We need it to drive investments in clean energy projects, in climate resilient initiatives, in infrastructure projects, ensuring that when we are able to actually produce clean electrons, we are actually able to transport them and transmit them to those who need it. So it is not only about the deployment of solar technologies or wind farms. It's about the whole value chain of what it's going to take to address this climate challenge by introducing new electrons that will help mitigate this climate risk. And we need focus, in particular across the Global South, because we don't want them to get stuck in between climate action or development. We want to be smart and wise on how to incentivize them to do both in parallel. And we need this climate finance to help improve lives and livelihoods. And everywhere, we cannot be selective, and we cannot leave anyone behind. This new mindset can be seen in Altera. Altera is the multi-billion-dollar catalytic climate fund announced this morning by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the President of the United Arab Emirates. Altera is a fund like no other, and it represents a defining moment in a new approach to climate finance. It is by far the biggest private investor, 100% focused on solutions to climate change. It starts with $30 billion from the UAE, and by drawing in investment from others, we seek to mobilize $250 billion of investment by 2030, only in the next 7 years. Altera will invest $25 billion through investment funds in clean technologies, in renewable energy projects, in infrastructure-related projects, in assets across the value chain of sustainability and climate-related initiatives and projects. Yet another $5 billion will be deployed as a catalyst, as a risk mitigation capital that will help reduce risk, ensure security and sustainability of funds, as well as attract and incentivize and motivate private capital. This $5 billion can be invested in parallel with concessional finance. And we're doing this to help reshape the risk calculations for the private sector and pull investments into the Global South, because that is where it is really and mostly needed. And the best thing is that Altera's model can and should and must be replicated to cater for other areas around the world. It is, in fact, innovative thinking that can help change the climate finance landscape. And I must say here, if it wasn't for your support, for your guidance, the different engagement opportunities I had with the IMF, with the World Bank, with my colleagues in India, with my colleagues in China, with Mia Motley, with many other specialists and experts, those who are sincere and genuine in helping find solutions, I don't think we would be at this place today. It is also to the fact that we were given the opportunity to participate and engage openly in Paris with President Macron and his team, building on the Paris Pact and many other financial incentive packages that have been introduced in the past by France that helped better shape our deeper understanding of the challenge in order for us to develop a custom-tailored approach that will address the problem head-on. So I must say thank you. I thank you all for your guidance, for your assistance, for your patience, and for your support. we wouldn't be where we are today with our deep conviction and belief that Altera can and will play an important role in helping address the climate finance challenge. But is it enough? You and I will agree that Altera on its own will not be enough. It cannot be enough on its own. It should be a true catalyst, an enabler, an incentive for many others to start thinking differently, to start being innovative and creative, and in a way, to translate words into actions, to translate pledges and commitments into real cash available, accessible, and affordable. This is what is really needed. Excellencies, no single initiative will fix climate finance. A holistic ecosystem of solutions must be created. And that is why the COP28 presidency, with your help, has worked very closely with many relevant stakeholders around the world to develop the UAE Declaration on New Global Finance Framework. The declaration builds on the great work of the Bridgetown Initiative, the Nairobi Declaration, and the Paris Act. And it focuses on three main areas. First, rebuilding trust. We must restore faith and trust. Second, on reframing climate investments as true, profitable economic opportunities. And third, scaling up climate finance. In a way, going back to my initial statement, making finance available, accessible, and affordable. I must say, we are seeing positive momentum, and we are seeing good traction. And I must say, progress on trust is actually happening. In addition to the historic breakthrough on loss and damage yesterday, we are seeing strong replenishment of the Green Climate Fund. Donors are getting closer to fulfilling the overdue $100 billion pledge. International financial institutions are beginning to step up with disaster debt relief clauses and by expanding special drawing rights. And I am very pleased to announce that the United Arab Emirates is committing $200 million in SDRs to the IMF Trust to support climate resilience for low-income countries. Excellencies, I know we can do it. We have no other choice. The fact that you are all here is a big statement. We cannot miss this opportunity. I am very optimistic that we can drive progress across all climate pillars. We must recognize the economic opportunities of climate investments. We must start changing the narrative of climate finance. It can no longer be seen as a burden. It should be seen as a new economic development program. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact is, the energy transition is the biggest economic opportunity since the first industrial revolution. Seizing that opportunity makes both business sense and climate sense. And that's what we have been trying to promote. Pro-growth, pro-climate. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. But we need to be smart. We need to be creative. We need to cooperate, and we need to collaborate. We need to start engaging private capital. We need innovative new sources of private capital, like Altera. And we need to better capitalize multilateral development banks. And we must allow for them to drive their reform. They know their business more than anyone. We should just give them the space and the environment and enable them. We need high integrity carbon markets, and I very much appreciate the drive and the efforts at the World Bank led by my very good colleague and friend, AJ Banga, and I thank him for his initiative and his announcements. We must lower risk, and we must lower currency risk. We need new financing models for blended finance. And we need to develop a critical mass of skill sets and expertise to move climate finance to mainstream. With this in mind, the United Arab Emirates is founding and establishing the Global Climate Finance Center in Abu Dhabi. This will act as a hub for climate finance. We want it to be seen as the nucleus of change. We want this hub to be activated and equipped and fully capitalized by like-minded partners. We need to create a critical mass of expertise in this space, stemming out of the positive energy coming out of COP28. Excellencies, the declaration is our blueprint. Let's follow that blueprint. Let's take ideas to scale, and let's build the new climate economy together. I know we can, and I know we will. I trust you. Thank you very much.